I have started this story 4 times tonight. 4 times I sat down at this table, and 4 times I got back up again. Because some stories, once you say them out loud, they stop belonging only to you. My name is Hattie Mae Cross, and the story I'm about to tell you is one I have been rehearsing in my head for more than 60 years. Lord knows, that ought to be enough time to learn how to tell a thing properly. But some memories do not get lighter with age. They get sharper. We lived in a neighborhood they called the Bottom. Called it that because whenever the Ocmulgee River got angry, the water ran straight down to us. In the summer, the whole street smelled like somebody's dinner. You could walk from one end of the block to the other and know exactly who was cooking what and whether they had enough to share. Mrs. Eunice Patterson next door kept a rooster she refused to get rid of, even though it woke the whole street at 5 in the morning, every single day. And every single day, somebody on that block said they were going to do something about that rooster. Nobody ever did anything about that rooster. We just got used to 5 o'clock. The Bottom had everything a neighborhood needs and nothing a neighborhood deserves. It had community, and it had dignity, and it had women who held it all together with nothing but their hands and their stubbornness. My mama was one of those women. Every spring the river would come up, right through our floorboards. My mama would spend 3 whole days on her knees, drying them boards out with rags she tore from old bed sheets. She never complained, not once. She just moved around that house like she was apologizing to the timber for being wet. Every evening around sunset, Gloria Carter would walk past our porch on her way up the hill, wearing white lace gloves, like she had somewhere better to be. Mama would stop wiping the counter, just to watch her pass through the screen door. Back then, I thought Mama envied her dresses. Now, I know she envied her freedom. That was my Mama's way. She apologized for storms she did not create. Landlord raised the rent, Mama apologizing for taking up space. Storekeeper shorter on change, Mama apologizing for causing a fuss. She was a small woman, but she carried herself like she was trying to occupy less air than the Lord gave her. Nobody noticed Mama disappearing because she disappeared politely. There was one thing my Mama did that I have never seen another person do before or since. When she was happy, truly happy, not performing happy for company, she would hum while she worked. Not a song exactly, more like a sound her body made when it had enough. I used to lie in bed on Saturday mornings and listen for it. The humming meant the week had been survivable. The humming meant she still had something left. She stopped humming before she stopped singing. I noticed the humming go first. I did not know what it meant at the time. I know now. When a woman stops making involuntary sound, stops humming, stops sighing, stops the little noises a person makes when they feel safe enough to exist out loud, that is when you need to pay attention. I did not pay attention. I was 9 years old. I did not know yet that silence is sometimes a symptom. My daddy was different. He didn't apologize for nothing. He worked 32 years at the brickyard. Quiet man, but it was a heavy quiet, like a stove before the wood catches. Then came 1963. They closed the yard down. Didn't give no warning, just put a chain on the gate and a piece of cardboard that said, "Closed." They did not send a letter, did not call a meeting, did not give notice of any kind. 32 men lost their jobs that morning. Most had been there 20 years or more. Nobody from that brickyard ever called any of them to explain. Nobody from that brickyard ever called any of them at all. I remember the day he came home. It was a Tuesday. He walked into the kitchen, sat down in his good chair by the window, and he didn't take his boots off. My daddy always took his boots off at the porch, always. But that day, he just sat there, and we all just sat there looking at him, like a chair had grown legs. Nobody said a word. The silence didn't just sit in our house, it rotted. After 3 weeks, Mama tried to hand him a glass of ice water. He didn't look at her. He just swept his heavy arm across the table and smashed that glass right against the wall. I screamed from the hallway. I thought he was going to hit her. But Daddy just buried his face in his red clay hands and started shaking. And Mama? She didn't yell, she didn't cry. She just knelt right back down in that water and glass and started picking up the pieces with her bare fingers. That was the night I realized the house was going to stay standing long after the people inside it collapsed. I didn't find out until many years later, after they were both gone, what Mama was doing to keep us alive, while Daddy sat frozen in that chair. I was cleaning out her old chest of drawers, and buried right at the bottom, under 3 winter sweaters, I found a little blue notebook. It wasn't a diary. Mama didn't have time for feelings on paper. It was a ledger, page after page of numbers. 2 cents for starch, 5 cents for kerosene, a nickel for lard, and next to every single transaction, she had written a name. But there were 82 pages in that ledger, and my daddy's name wasn't on a single one of them. Every single dollar entered belonged to Gloria Carter. Mama was taking in laundry from the white folks over on the hill, but she wasn't doing it alone. She was working at a Gloria's house until 2 in the morning while we were asleep, using Gloria's name so the neighborhood wouldn't talk, and so Daddy wouldn't know his family was being fed by the woman he spent his whole life looking down on. She was killing herself to keep his pride from breaking. There was a year when my own daughter was 7 years old, and I sat alone in my own kitchen after everybody went to sleep. And I remember thinking, Lord help me. I understand now. Some women die young. My mama just died slowly, one sacrifice at a time, one lonely Tuesday at a time. I am telling you this because somebody watching me right now has a woman in their life slowly disappearing, and everybody around her keeps calling it being tired. No, tired people rest. This is different. This is drowning quietly. And the cruelest thing about quiet drowning is nobody hears it happening. Because it almost happened to me. I am not ready to tell you everything about that yet. I want to. I have been working up to it for 60 years. But some things you have to walk toward slowly, or they knock you down before you finish saying them. The whole neighborhood talked about Gloria Carter like they had her figured out. They thought she was a lady of the night, but Mama knew her soul. They didn't hear the rain hitting Gloria Carter's roof the night the police came, without their sirens. The thick copper scent hanging in the air, the flashing red lights bleeding through her lace curtains, and my daddy sitting on Gloria Carter's living room floor, covered in blood that did not belong to him. The whole neighborhood thought they knew what happened inside that house. They were wrong. In the next episode, I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw through Gloria Carter's window, and you will finally understand why nobody on our street ever spoke her name again.